In this video, we are going to take functions that are quadratics that are in standard form. And standard form says y equals something squared plus a b term plus a c term. So our first example is going to say x squared plus 10x plus 12. This is standard form. Standard form starts with a y equals and then gives us a quadratic. We want to turn it into vertex form. And if you'll remember, vertex form looks like this: y equals x plus minus h squared plus k. That's what vertex form looks like. So we want to turn this into this, and we're going to do that through a form called completing the square. Now, completing the square is not a complicated process, but it's one you just need to pay attention and get all the pieces in the right form. So first thing we want to do is make sure you're in standard form. So if things are in weird places, if it doesn't say y equals, I don't know why my y is squared, it's actually just y equals, make sure you're in standard form. That's the first thing we want to do. And then we want to take the b term. So we're going to use the b term. And we're going to use a new little formula I'm going to give you. So we're going to use the b and the given c formula to make a new c. All right, so let's do that. So my b is 10. So I'm going to take this formula, c equals b divided by 2. Let's make that a capital B. B divided by 2 squared. That's our new little formula. And what we're going to do is we're going to plug this b in. B is 10 in this case. We're going to plug it in and we're going to solve. And I'm going to solve it step by step because I'm going to need the middle step here in a minute. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 5 squared is 25. So this is my new c. So once I have my new c, I'm going to take that new c and I'm going to rewrite and fill in the blanks. And I'll show you what I mean by fill in the blanks. So when we rewrite the problem, we say y equals x squared plus 10x plus a blank. We're going to put a blank right there. Then we're going to bring the plus 12 from the original function down. And then we're going to say minus a blank. You have to put plus a blank, minus a blank. And it has to be in that order. The first blank has to be positive. It has to come after your b. The second blank has to be negative, and it comes after your c. What we're doing is we're making some perfect squares happen. We're going to force that to happen because we want to be able to use a shortcut method to do some factoring in the next video. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this c that we just made and we're going to plug it into the blanks. And then we've got a shortcut. We're going to factor this, but we've got a shortcut to do that. So we're going to use the shortcut, and the shortcut looks like this. The shortcut says x plus that b divided by 2, whatever your b divided by 2 was. And if you'll show every step, there's b divided by 2 right there. We've already actually done that work. So x plus b divided by 2 squared is our shortcut. And that's going to factor the first 3 terms. So let's highlight some things. So we're going to use this shortcut to factor the first 3 terms. And the first 3 terms in this problem are x squared plus 10x plus 25. And then we're going to subtract the final terms that we have. And there's 2 of them. There's always 2 final terms. So 2 final terms. So I'm going to highlight that. So subtract the 2 final terms. That, in this case, is right here. So let's actually do that. So we're going to use the shortcut. The shortcut says, hey, I'm going to say x, I'm going to square it. And what goes in this spot right here is whatever this b was right here. Half of b. So half of b was a positive 5, so I'm going to put plus 5 in this spot. And then I'm going to take positive 12 minus 25. That's not the right answer. Get all the numbers in there. Positive 12 minus 25, not 23, is negative 13. So to take this from standard form to vertex form, I have to add a blank, subtract a blank. I have to take half of b, and then I have to square the half of b and plug it into the blanks. So this is vertex form, and I know what my vertex is. My vertex is 5, negative 13. So the last thing we did was identify the vertex. So that's what we're doing. We're going from standard form to vertex form. Not a super complicated setup. So let's do another one. So we're going to say y equals x squared minus 18x minus 6. We're in standard form. That's kind of the point of going from standard form to vertex form. We're going to use the b and the new c formula that we have. So b is negative 18, and my c formula says, hey, take b, cut it in half, and square it. So I'm going to plug that in. Negative 18 divided by 2 squared. Negative 18 divided by 2 is negative 9. Notice, I'm leaving that in parentheses. Don't ever lose those parentheses. If you lose those parentheses, you're going to mess up your C term. You're going to mess up the sign on your C term. Because I want to square a negative 9. I don't want to square 9 and then make it negative, which is what would happen if you left those parentheses off in the calculator. So negative 9 times negative 9 is 81. So we've used B and the C formula to make a new C. So now we're going to rewrite it and fill in the blanks. So we rewrite by saying x squared minus 18x plus a blank minus the 6 from the original function minus a blank. And then in the blank, we're going to take that C that we just made, that 81, and we're going to plug it in. So what we want to do is we want to use this shortcut, x squared. So half of b, well, if I go right here, half of b is right there. Half of b is negative 9. And then I need to actually subtract negative 6 and negative 81. So negative 6 minus 81 is negative 87. So here's the function in standard form. Here's the function in vertex form. And I can pick the vertex out just by knowing that h and k, the opposite of h, and the k exactly like it's written, make my vertex.